What's up, gamers? We are back with more Starfield, picking up right where we left off. We are on the key. If you listened to my advice at the beginning of the last episode and you skipped ahead to this one, where I promised we'd be getting right back into the Galbank stuff, my advice is to go back and watch the last episode after all. I thought it was going to be a really boring search, but we actually kept finding something new every few minutes. I either didn't search the key well at all the first time I went through here, or some of this stuff spawned in due to the progress I've made in this quest line. So I highly recommend giving it a watch. It is me just searching the key, but we found all the pieces of the Crix interview except for part number 5. We found parts 1 through 4 and also part 7. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 6, 7. And we also found 2 pieces of evidence for UC SysDef. One was a list of parts that Jazz was requesting, and it sort of revealed that there's someone, she's got someone inside the UC in New Atlantis that's supplying them with parts actually from the United Colonies, are like supplying parts for without them knowing it, of course, for her maintenance work that she's doing here on board the key. It also intimated that they had sent her a schematic for the reactor here at the key. So there's some mole inside UC security or UC operations that's funneling parts and intel to Jazz. So that was interesting. We also found a piece of evidence that was talking about, I'm sorry, I forget his name, even though it was just not too long ago I picked this one up. But the guy with the bomb in his chest who is in charge of all the money laundering and stuff for the Crimson Fleet. And it was just about him basically asking for some new equipment and some upgrades to his equipment that he uses for, hacking into Galbank and cleaning their money, basically money laundering. So at the beginning of this episode, I'm going to play, now that we have all of the pieces of the interview except for number 5, I'm going to play all of them in order because, as I said I was going to do between videos, I found part number 5. I found it in a place that, once I found it, I was like, oh, duh, I'm stupid. Because there was a big chunk of the key that we didn't explore in the last video. I talked about exploring it. I said I was going to explore it. I had plans to explore it. Never went in there and explored it. Which is the well, my brain is forgetting the names of things today, but the bar at the key. We needed to go in there anyway. We have sort of like an activity to talk to Bog and see why he's really angry and flipping out at customers all of a sudden, more so than usual. I want to go check in with Neva and Delgado and see if they have anything to say. Since I've finished on the cruise ship, I want to see if I can put in a good word for Rokov with Delgado, because I feel like he was really helpful and he seems like a nice guy. He just wants back in with the Crimson Fleet. I think, my opinion is that they should let him back in, although, of course, we still don't know what he did to get himself kicked out in the first place. And he does seem kind of like a bumbling fool, so I'm guessing he bumbled. But, yeah, I went to the bar because my plan was to start this video with just moving on to talk to Bog, and then as soon as I went through the loading screen of the bar, I was like, oh yeah, I didn't search the bar at all. Like, of course, the last piece of the interview is going to be in the bar somewhere. And so I searched around the bar, which apparently I never did a good search of the bar because I found... I also found an upgrade magazine on the other part of the key, but I found yet another upgrade magazine in the bar that I didn't have yet. A bunch of cred sticks, a bunch of digipicks, some Aurora, a bunch of stuff around the bar worth worth picking up. And this interview part 5, just sitting here on the bar. More and more, I'm thinking that this stuff spawned in after we went down to the lock. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. There's no way I clearly missed a lot that was here before. But some of these things are just so obviously placed that I'm just in utter disbelief that I could have been overlooking them all before. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Feel free to tell me if they've been here this whole time and I'm just blind in the comments. I'd certainly be interested in finding that out. But so what I'm going to do, in case you really don't want to go back and watch me searching the key in the last episode, I'm going to, at the start of this episode, I'm going to play the entire interview, 1 through 7. I'm going to do 1 through 4, and then I'm going to pick this up. It'll automatically play when I do that for 5, and then we'll go back into my inventory and do parts 6 and 7, just to hear the whole thing in order. And then we'll talk to Bug, we'll talk to Delgado, we'll talk to Neva. Then I'll feel like things are cleaned up here on the key, and in this video, as promised, we will go and do the heist at the Galbank archives. But let's start things off. Wrong menu, notes. I've been really looking forward to this. Finally playing through all of these in order to hear his entire interview, because, boy, the voice actor, I said this in the last video, the voice actor that did Jasper Cricks freaking killed it. They did so good. And it's such a compelling story. It's such great world building. I love this interview. I love hearing the history of the Crimson Fleet. I'm not going to get into it. Like, the part of me that likes to ramble wants to just tell you everything I've already heard on all of these tapes. But I'm just going to play them and sit silently and let you really appreciate, without commentary, this amazing piece of voice acting and world building in this game.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gail Dunnigan of SSNN, and this is Galactic Talk. My guest tonight is one of the most notorious criminals in the settled systems. His ruthlessness and desire for wealth has landed him squarely at the top of the wanted list for every major law enforcement agency in the galaxy. I am, of course, speaking of the self-appointed leader of the Crimson Fleet himself, Jasper Cricks. Good evening, Mr. Cricks.
Good evening, Gail. Thank you for accepting my invitation.
Yes, well, being blindfolded and then Grav jumped to what appears to be an abandoned mining facility isn't exactly what I'd call an invitation.
Well, I'm sure you're not surprised that your request for an interview would come with some very specific conditions.
Frankly, I was a bit surprised to receive any type of response at all. Would you mind telling me why you decided to do this interview?
Because there comes a time in every pirate's life where they have to make an extremely important decision. Do they take a leap and become one of the most legendary pirates in history? Or do they simply sputter on, subsisting on freighters and deep space privateers?
So are we to assume that you're taking the leap? That Jasper Cricks is moving on to bigger and better things in his life?
That's spot on, Gail. That's exactly why you're here.
Interesting. Well then, would you mind sharing with us exactly what your particular leap entails?
In due time. There's no rush. In fact, I'd say we have at least 12 hours before the authorities trace this broadcast. Plenty of time to discuss whatever you like.
Oh, all right then. Perhaps the best place to start this interview would be at the beginning of your career.
Please, proceed.
Where did your stellar rise to infamy begin?
In the streets of New Atlantis. No parents, no godparents. Just a homeless punk kid robbing whoever he could for the credits.
Were these violent crimes? Murders?
I'm a bit offended you even asked that question, Gail. Sure, a few people here and there walked away with injuries, but I'm not some kind of butcher.
That doesn't sound as heartless as your reputation would imply.
Well, like I said, I was just a kid.
Were you ever caught by the authorities in New Atlantis?
Oh, dozens of times. I'd just give them a fake name, or they just slap me on the wrist and send me on my way. They obviously didn't think that I'd amount to anything and didn't want to waste their time with rehabilitation.
What changed that? Was it the robbery in 2218?
2218. Oh, yeah. The Galbank archives. Very good, Gail. I see you've done your research. That would be when I rounded up a few of my buddies and we knocked the place over. Made off with a ton of credits. My first big score.
Is that why the Crimson Scar decided to bring you into their ranks?
That's right. They brought me in, taught me the ropes, and I did crimes for them for 5 years. Till I decided I wanted more. I got rid of their leader, put myself in his place, and started running the show. I've been the one in charge ever since.
Was it absolutely necessary to cut his throat and leave the body on a public street in the well?
On the street, reputation is everything. I wanted everyone in the city to know that Jasper Cricks was taking over. I think they got the message.
So tell us about Jasper Cricks's version of the Crimson Scar.
All I can tell you is that under my guidance, the Crimson Scar became more influential than every other syndicate combined. Here I was, 22 years old, and I had power, people that followed my orders, and an endless stream of credits. Gail, I have to tell you, I was having the time of my life.
So you'd consider extortion, robbery, burglary, kidnapping, assault, and murder to be positive life influences?
No. I'd consider them as just means to an end. Those so-called crimes were merely stepping stones until I had enough wealth to buy the Crimson Scar a few spacecraft.
Yes, let's talk about that. It appears you weren't satisfied with terrorizing New Atlantis alone.
Oh, I've never stopped reaching, Gail. The amount of money we were making in New Atlantis was decent, but the really big scores were in space on the cargo ships. We're talking millions of credits, maybe more. Who the hell could count it all?
Most people assume this is when the UC decided to actively set up a task force to pursue the Crimson Scar.
That's correct. Those idiots in charge of the United Colonies were clearly embarrassed that they had allowed the Crimson Scar to make the jump into space. They sent ships after us. Lots of ships. I almost think that they enjoy starting wars.
Perhaps this was the first time you had finally reached too far.
You could say that. I count my time running the Crimson Scar as a learning experience. I wouldn't say I reached too far. I'd say I reached too fast. Didn't cover all my bases. Made some stupid mistakes. One thing's for certain, though. When I was finally arrested and thrown into the lock, I had plenty to think about.
Tell us about your arrest.
Oh, my arrest was spectacular. Definitely one for the record books. UC Security sent an armada after our little fleet of ships and picked us off one by one until the remainder of us made it to the wheel.
For a listener's benefit, that was the star station in orbit around Voli that you destroyed just before your arrest, correct?
You see, that's what they'd have you believe, but the truth is much less sinister. There was a firefight on the wheel when they tried to bring us in. We holed up, but UC Security basically unleashed hell. The damage they caused was catastrophic. We only surrendered so we wouldn't die when the station exploded.
Well, the UC says you set demolition charges to try and cover your tracks and make your escape.
That's their story. You'll have to go with your gut on what you think really happened. Anyway, they took us in and tossed us into the lock. That lovely resort they opened on Suvorov.
And you were imprisoned there for how long?
Well, it was supposed to be for life, Gail. But I ended up serving 2 years before I decided I'd had enough.
Is there any particular reason that you started the riots that eventually led to the worst prison break in United Colonies history?
Yes. I'm quite proud of that, actually. I honestly didn't think it would go as well as it did. As for the reason, well, it's simple. The UC were treating us like animals. The conditions in the lock were ridiculously bad and no one cared. That's why they stuck us on that ice ball in the first place. Out of sight, out of mind.
Your escape caused the deaths of many that were stationed at the lock. Some would brand that as a bit dismissive for what you're describing as a protest. If you were simply advocating for your fellow inmates, why didn't you just go through the proper channels?
And what the hell was I supposed to do? Send a strongly worded letter to my duly appointed representative? Wake up. The UC only responds to actions, not words. In my mind, there was no other choice. You know what? Let's move past my time at the lock so we can get to the point of this goddamned interview.
Certainly. Let's talk about something else. How did the Crimson Scar become the Crimson Fleet?
After I busted out of the lock, I decided to take things to the next level. I had the key, a few UC ships, and a couple dozen ex-cons at my side. But I needed more, so I sent out the call. Once word got around, it didn't take long for freelance pirates from every corner of the settled systems to show up.
And this is how the Crimson Fleet was born.
Exactly. The key became our base of operations. We spent months reinforcing our position there, making it nearly impossible to approach.
What was the UC's response to the situation?
First of all, UC security gave up and handed the reins over to the big guns, the UC Navy. The Navy, in turn, sent ships to attack the key. I'd say there have been 3 major attacks over the last few years. And as you can tell by the fact we're having this interview, all the attacks were embarrassing failures.
Do you feel these embarrassing failures led them to form UC Systems?
Absolutely. They've clearly given up and decided to shove the responsibility onto a separate division. That way, in the public eye, the UC Navy can move forward, proud and strong, while UC SysDef continually takes all the blame. It's all about PR spin for them, Gail. That's how the UC operates. Kinda disgusting, don't you think?
Sounds a bit like you're trying to deflect attention off the atrocities the Crimson Fleet commits on a daily basis.
Atrocities, huh? How about fighting the Freestar Collective over a bunch of rocks hanging in space? How about thousands of people dying while a bunch of pencil-pushing bastards sit in a cushy office and draw lines on a star map? Maybe the United Colonies should stop the bullshit and take a hard look in the mirror to see who the monsters really are.
Wow, that was a really... I know I said I was going to play them all through without interruption, but that's the one I hadn't yet heard. And wow, I'm going to play it again. Because that part at the end especially, where he's, calling the United Colonies hypocrites. Like, I think he's right on the money with that,
Certainly. Let's talk about something else.
And I love the passion
How
he
did the
feels
Crimson
when he's
Scar
saying
become
that.
the Crimson Fleet?
After I
This is the
busted
big
out of
one
the
too, the
lock,
big
I
tape that
decided
talks
to take
about
things to
the
next
transition
level.
from just being a criminal
I
syndicate
had the key,
to being
a few
the
UC
Crimson Fleet
ships,
itself.
and a couple dozen ex-cons at my side. But I needed more, so I sent out the call. Once word got around, it didn't take long for freelance pirates from every corner of the settled systems to show up.
And this is how the Crimson Fleet was born.
Exactly. The key became our base of operations. We spent months reinforcing our position there, making it nearly impossible to approach.
And boy is it.
UC's response to the situation.
First of all, UC Security gave up and handed the reins over to the big guns, the UC Navy. The Navy, in turn, sent ships to attack the key. I'd say there have been 3 major attacks over the last few years. And as you can tell by the fact we're having this interview, all the attacks were embarrassing failures.
Do you feel these embarrassing failures led them to form UC System?
Absolutely. They've clearly given up and decided to shove the responsibility onto a separate division. That way, in the public eye, the UC Navy can move forward, proud and strong, while UC SysDef continually takes all the blame. It's all about PR spin for them, Gale. That's how the UC operates. Kinda disgusting, don't you think?
Sounds a bit like you're trying to deflect attention off the atrocities the Crimson Fleet commits on a daily basis.
Atrocities, huh? How about fighting the Freestar Collective over a bunch of rocks hanging in space? How about thousands of people dying while a bunch of pencil-pushing bastards sit in a cushy office and draw lines on a star map? Maybe the United Colonies should stop the bullshit and take a hard look in the mirror to see who the monsters really are.
Tell us what the future holds for the Crimson Fleet.
Changes are coming, Gale. Huge changes. Crimson Fleet will soon be a much bigger player in this little game between the members of the settled systems.
That's quite a bold statement. Would you care to elaborate?
Well, let's just say that I'm on the brink of a score so large, it makes everything else pale in comparison.
The legacy.
Beyond that, you'll just have to wait and see.
If you aren't willing to discuss the details, why grant SSNN this interview?
Simple. I refuse to allow the UC to spin or bury the story, making it sound like they're in complete control of the situation. I'm gonna tell you right now, they aren't.
Why does the Crimson Fleet need to make this mysterious move that you're being so evasive about?
I know SysDef instructed you to draw this meeting out as long as possible. So let me sum this up. I intend to make sure that the Crimson Fleet becomes the United Colony's worst nightmare. And nothing, I mean nothing in this universe, will stop me from achieving that goal.
There are those that would disagree with you and claim this interview is grandstanding, or worse, a recruitment tool. After all, SSNN reaches every corner of the settled systems, and your aspirations could inspire the directionless to turn to the fleet.
You and the sheep that listen to your garbage can believe whatever the hell you want. If you were so worried about what I had to say, you wouldn't have allowed yourself to be brought here.
Let me just ask you one final question before we wrap up.
Fine. Go ahead.
When is enough going to be enough? How many credits does Jasper Criggs need until he's satisfied?
I should have expected you to ask such a stupid question. How the hell could you ever understand? You with your fancy education and your sheltered upbringing and your cushy media job. Me, I came from nothing. Everything I own, I've literally drawn blood to gain.
There's no need to get personal. I'm simply trying to state the facts so that our listeners can make judgments of their own.
Lady, I got news for you. Half of your listeners think I'm a hero. The other half are scared out of their goddamn minds, and they should be.
Perhaps we should talk about something else.
No, that's it. We're done. Can you guys get her the hell out of here? Make sure she takes all this sound equipment with her.
Well, that's it then. Thank you for your...
Actually, before you go, Gail, there's one more thing I would like to say.
Yes, of course. What is it?
When you broadcast this interview on SSNN, I want you to remember that I'll be listening. If you edit even one word or manipulate my voice to change anything I've said, I will hunt you down and kill you in front of everyone. Do you understand?
I understand. You have my word.
That's it. That's it. William Holmes is the voice actor who did Jasper Cricks. A round of applause for that guy. He knocked it out of the park. I loved these audio logs. Thank you for indulging me as I played through the whole thing. I just really love that. We're going to go ahead and talk to Bog. When I was walking around the key between videos, one of the pirates here said that he had a bug up his butt about something, so he was like pissier than usual or something to that effect. So we're going to talk to Bog, see if there's something we can do to help him out.
Always open for business. So is the fleet.
Listen.
Yeah, I heard you've been moping around, Bog. No one likes a sad bartender.
Yeah. Working around this slot day in, day out. You'd think they wouldn't give a damn.
Oh, Bog, you are hard to hear, buddy. Maybe I should have gotten a little close to him before clicking. Oh, they don't. I think it's a genuine complaint. You listen to our problems, so let me listen to yours. Is this a trick to get me to buy you a drink? It's not going to work. You listen to our problems, so let me listen to yours.
I think I need to take you up on that offer. I guess I'm thinking of my dear old Maddie. The only woman I ever loved. Almost married her, I did. I missed my chance and lost her to one of my best mates. Clay. I'll tell you what. You want to help an old man out? Bring me back the one thing of Maddie's that ever meant anything to me. Her ring.
Yeah, I don't like the audio mixing for this. The sound design for this dialogue is really bad. I can barely hear what he's saying. But I mean, thank goodness for subtitles, right? I caught everything because of the subtitles. He's in love with this girl, Maddie. Only woman he ever loved. Ended up with his best friend, Clay. He wants back the only thing of hers that ever mattered to him, which is a ring that he gave her. What's the story here?
Maddie had my eye back in the day. Thing was, she had the eye of my best mate, too. A bloke by the name of Clay Dietrich. Clay and
Why does
I
that name
had a
sound
luxury
familiar?
honor, snatched a ring I knew Maddie would love. Before I could say anything, Clay asked if he could have it, and he used it to propose. Long story short, Clay married Maddie, and they ran off to raise hell with Ecliptic. And then he got the poor girl killed.
Oh. I was about to say a tale as old as time, but that bit's a little a little interesting. So they like hit a luxury liner, stole a ring. I'm not sure exactly how this worked out, but Clay asked if he could borrow it or use it, and then used it to propose to Maddie, even though he also loved Maddie, and then they got married, and he joined up with the Ecliptic, the Mercs, and then got her killed. I was a bit worried which direction this quest was taking, because I thought he was gonna have me like steal the ring off her finger or something like that. But it sounds like she's already dead.
Only customer, you know.
Yeah. All right, I'll get the ring, but I better be point me in the right direction, and that ring is all yours.
You're in luck. Clay showed up on my radar a bit ago. Probably
Oh, Clay's still alive. He just got Maddie killed.
I'll send you the details. I don't care how you do it. Just get that ring back.
Well, if he's Ecliptic, I'm happy to just put a bullet between his eyes and get it that way. Retrieve Maddie's ring at the deserted Ecliptic garrison. Nice. And is that a misc quest? Oops, wrong menu. I think it's right. No, not that. Is it? It's just still just an activity. Right. So, I forgot to mention this, but the Crix's interview, log number 4, where he talks about them being treated like animals in the lock, and the reason why he couldn't stand it and ended up planning the riot. We got an objective to show that log to Armin, who's the leader of the brig on board the UC Vigilance, and the one who was asking us for any information we could find about the conditions in the lock. Unfortunately, of course, we can't go to the UC Vigilance because we can only go there when we get a quest objective to go there. But we'll make sure to remember to do that next time we're back on that ship. Is it a faction quest? What is it? Reclaiming the past. I mean, it's here under all. Oh, it is a miscellaneous quest. It's just I had like blindness to it because it doesn't have one of these icons. It has the Crimson Fleet icon. Bog asked me to recover a ring that belonged to a woman he loved from a man named Clay Dietrich. I need to travel to the deserted Ecliptic garrison on Sirma 7B in the Sirma system and retrieve it. Okay. We've also still got that quest for Galbank to collect the debt. We got a few side quests that I think we're gonna probably clean up in this episode before we get back to the big Galbank thing. But I do plan on at least progressing that some in this episode. I did want to, while we're still on the key, I want to talk to Delgado and Neva to see if they have any new dialogue, because of how, like, I haven't spoken to them since I boarded the Starliner. I do want to see if I can put in a good word for Rokov. If I can figure out what the correct direction is. Not that way.
Ready to make
Not
those
that
credits?
way. Whoa, I am so lost right now. Where's the command center? It's right off of this, isn't it? Am I that messed up right now?
Always listen to Delgado, unless you want to get keel-hauled across the key.
There's that word again, keel-hauled. Holy crap, I'm actually lost right now. How do I not... Alright, well, I remember there's a way... No, this is the one. I am actually so lost right now. How am I misremembering the layout of this place this badly? Will this take me up or down? Apparently this is going to take me up to the operations centers, which is where I'm trying to find, so... Okay. Sorry about that. Jeez. Let's try Neva first.
Better get a move on before Dale sees you slacking.
Alright. she doesn't have anything to say. Well, Dell's definitely going to see me slacking because I'm going to try talking to him.
Don't tell me Shinya ran out of errands.
Okay. Fair enough. They don't want to talk to me until I'm done with the quest, which is fair enough. I don't know what I was expecting. My concern is that, like, once I get to the end of this breaking the bank quest, I might be kind of done with the Crimson Fleet. So I think I'm going to do this right now. Oh, being attacked by the Starborn? Okay. Starborn Guardian 4. Level 40 ship. Holy crap. Well, I'm kicking his butt. So, guess we're okay. Yeah, walk on, please. There's one down. I've already established previously that you can't board these ships, so there's no point in me lollygagging around. Although I think I will try to destroy this one in targeting mode. But I still have a quest for that. Okay. Didn't even breach my shields. I love this new ship. It's so strong. It's still playing combat music, but I think I got them. Deserted Ecliptic Garrison. See, this game calls a lot of things deserted that end up not being deserted. This one especially seems weird because it says Ecliptic. It says Deserted Ecliptic Garrison. But I'm theoretically going there to find a member of the Ecliptic Merc group, so why is it called deserted then? Clearly not deserted, right? Am I crazy? I'm probably crazy.
Landing gear is ready. Site is clear.
It's interesting that Starborn in orbit is such a high level. I wonder what the level of the system is. I'm sure I'm a plenty, a high enough level to handle it. Oh, it's this layout again. I can't believe this. I've cleared multiple bases so far with this exact layout. This is the third one. I know exactly what's going to be in every single building here. I mean, that'll facilitate me clearing this place out pretty quickly. But, I mean, it's getting a little ridiculous. Not going to lie. I just saw a level 34 flash on my screen. This one's level 5 though. Oh, let's do this so I can see. Level 46. William Holmes, by the way, who did the voice of Crix, also did the voice for some of the spacers in this game, as well as some character that I didn't bother remembering the name of because we haven't encountered him yet. So looking forward to that. Oh shit, I'm taking way more damage than I thought I was. Get healed up here. I kind of want that stuff here. Where am I taking them?
Of your defeat is extremely high.
No, of course Vasco's pitching in because we landed right in the middle of it. Right in the middle of all the nonsense. Really low grav on this moon, I like it. Can make it easy to navigate around this place. Oh, I haven't really mentioned this, but I did, I got some like upgrades to my equipment when I was doing the prison. which I've now equipped. One of them was a boost pack, so I'm back to using a standard boost pack, which I prefer quite a bit to the... Wait, is that Vasco? I think I'm trying to kill Vasco right now by accident. I really like that power because, like, when the enemies are sitting in the dark somewhere shooting at me, I have a really difficult time figuring out where to aim. But this power helps a lot with that. There's going to be some clothing item in this locker here. Blue elbow grease gear, that's boring. Pretty sure I've seen that before. Oh, there's usually one sitting at this chair here. They must have gotten up and come out to fight me. But yeah, this is the exact layout I've seen like a million times now. It's kind of weird. Not a million times. Three times. Exactly 3 times so far. So I'm not going to do as thorough a search of this place as I typically do. Because I kind of have a feel for where all the loot is already. So I may miss some things, but I mean, it's just a... It's clearly like a procedurally generated cryptic base, so... Not like very important that I pick it clean, you know? Right, so there'll be mining tunnels here that are going to lead me to the primary building. Although I think there's still some side buildings I need to explore first, but we'll take this path anyway to get back out of here. Now there's the main building there. As if I've done this before. Oh, it's just level 18 though. I was gonna say it's an elite. Uh-oh, that's scary though. I hate these things. Make sure that dies. With the quickness. Alright, let's go into the menu so I can actually hear myself think. Rare pistol, so we don't want that. Alright. Trick shot. Osmium dagger, that's interesting. Can't tell which of these guys are inside and which are outside shooting at me. Woof, took a lot of damage there. Let's heal. Use this power again. I love this power. It's so helpful for a variety of different reasons. Missed this guy. You tried to knife me. See that? Trying to use transfer more often so I can actually look and see if what they're dropping is useful to me instead of trying to loot on the fly. Alright, time to go up here and take care of these guys because they're causing me trouble. That's probably my target right there. Alright, before I go in the main building there, I'm just going to clear out the rest of this stuff. I gotta go over to this ship thing over there. I think that's the last bit I really need to clear before we go deeper. Take out our target. Oh. Apparently missed one guy down here. See, I can't really do that thing I just did with the basic boost pack. Or I mean the power boost pack. I'm really glad I'm back to a basic boost pack because easier to navigate around with it. Oops, that was a bunch of big whips. I did that one trick shot, now I think I can just do it all the time. Let's click X on this guy before he floats away. No, nothing here worth taking. Oh my god, look at my health. Wow, I just missed like 7 times in a row. That was rough to watch. I think that's it. Was there stuff in here to loot? Oh yeah, there's an armor stand in here. Probably nothing good on this, but worth checking, I suppose. Okay. I think that's going to be it, other than the one guy remaining in the main building. Let me actually just check this real quick. I seem to recall there being something on here to loot. Oh, God. The low gravity is actually causing me trouble right now. There we go. Cellular comfort wear? Huh, I don't know if I have that one yet. A locked box. I think that's it up here. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we could do 3 and 3. Okay, so we could do this and that. So how would that work? If we did that with then... Oh yeah, does this fit like... No, it doesn't. Wait. Oh, I see. This and then this. I'm caught up now. All that for a brown engineering outfit? I'll take it, just in case I don't have it yet, but I'm pretty sure I do. Alright. And this is where I'm glad we have low gravity, because I'm just going to be able to hop right back up onto this thing. One guy left in here, right? Yeah, it's going to be our target. Almost 76. Ecliptic Commandant. Let's just pop a medkit just for safety. Then I'm gonna run up on this guy.
Firing.
Wait a damn second here. This guy did not have the item, the quest item on him. Wait, where's my quest objective right now? Down there. Alright, alright. As I suspected, because they were ecliptic, they just were hostile right out the gate. So, yeah. We'd be using violence to resolve this quest. But I'm pretty sure I killed everyone here. Like, where is... Oh, I can't even see it on my screen. Oh, down there? Wait, is that leading me back to my ship? Am I in the wrong place? What's going on? Did I just clear this whole base out for nothing? It is leading me back to my ship, right? Hold on a minute. Oh, because I don't have the right mission selected. Goodness gracious. No. Come on, game. That's not what I was trying to click. Okay. Let me out of this menu. Thank you. Okay, so now it's bringing me back to there. I'm such a silly goose. Okay. Oh. There it is. Message for bog evidence. Interesting. So we're getting a unique piece of evidence for doing this side quest. That's really interesting. Nice chunk of credits from this. I don't even think that's the only chunk of credits I've gotten for. I got like 2,500 from the lieutenant guy. Rare melee. We don't need that. Return to Bog at the key. Okay. Let's check out message for Bog. Because that may... we may end up giving that to Bog. Although that would be weird because it's evidence. So I feel like I need to give it to UC Systef. But...
It's that time of year again. And here I am. Still carrying your ring. Still with Ecliptic. Still a goddamn coward. Why'd you have to stand up for me that night? I was the one that screwed up. I was the one being stupid and you damn well knew it. I didn't want to kill you. But they left me no choice. And you knew.
Oh my god, Clay killed her?
To save myself. And me.
Wow, he is a coward.
I didn't even have the courage to at least look at you when I pulled the trigger.
Oh my
I
god.
should have let Bog have you.
Yeah, apparently
I
so.
knew how much he loved you. Hell, you even loved him. I just didn't care. I figured the moment you had each other, I'd be alone. And look at me now.
Wow. Didn't expect that to be voiced, but I am not mad. Okay. Yeah, let's get right back to it. Let's go back to Bog. Give him the ring.
Ship is now docked. Perfect. Didn't even smudge the paint.
Hello, Captain.
Hi, Vasco.
I
I
don't
wonder what
trust
Vasco's
shielding.
take on us being
I got
like on
secret
board the pirate
compartments
ship
on my
or the
ship
pirate
just
space
in
station here is. I haven't talked to him in a while. I might see if he has any new dialogue when I next see him.
If you need credits, hit up the mission board.
Yeah?
Every captain here's on
So,
stripes.
you got something for me?
Waiting for the fleet.
I sure do. I got your ring. Clay's not around anymore to miss it. I got the ring. Looks like Clay took good care of it for you. As long as you've got those credits, I've got them. I mean, I didn't encounter a Ecliptic named Clay there. I assume Clay was the level 70 elite that I took out. I'm just going to say this. No need for him to know my methods. Especially since Clay seemed to really regret his decisions. But, oh man, he killed He killed his wife, though. Maybe I should say. Anyway, I got your ring. Looks like Clay took good care of it for you.
Probably kept it locked away. Here's your credit. I think it's time for a drink myself. Thanks to you, I'll be spending the rest of these days at peace.
Well, I'm glad that gave you some peace, some closure. Mission complete. All right, I'm gonna call that.
Hey, my fellow rook.
Call that it for now.
Samina says we have you to thank for the extra supplies. Now I can be twice as careless as usual.
Yeah, please don't. She probably would hate hearing you say that. Yeah, I think we're gonna call that it for now. For doing side stuff. Well, I mean, it's all side stuff, right? But we're gonna go back, get back to it with. Oh shit, that's right. I have contraband on me right now. Hold on. Hold on. Let me save. Let's save with that side quest complete. But yeah, let's get right back to the main faction quest here for the Crimson Fleet. What the hell? What did I click on? That is not correct. Oh no. Breaking the bank. Here we go. Yes. Oh, no. Oh, I'm so dumb. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, gentle viewer. I'm dumb. Maybe it's not too late to fix this problem. I have the contraband in my inventory and not in my very unshielded inventory and not in my very shielded cargo hold. So I'm going to try to fix the problem if it's not too late. We've got stolen artwork. And we have Aurora. Okay. Let's see if I made it in time.
Welcome to UC Space. Maintain your current course while we scan
Chance to evade scan 0%, it says. Okay. My bad. Very, very glad I did this save. So we'll just reload the save and then we'll put that stuff in my ship's cargo hold instead of being an idiot. And then we'll get going with the Galbank archives infiltration. I'm about halfway through the video. I might let this one run a little bit long. I do want to get well and good into the archives. I don't know how lengthy this part of the mission is going to be. I suspect we won't be able to finish it all on this video. But I do want to get into it, you know. I'm clicking the wrong things, aren't I? I want to go here, cargo hold, inventory. Okay. I can drop all this in there while I'm at it. Wait, why am I in notes? Stolen artwork. Aurora. Do I have anything else I want to store in there for now? What's weighing me down so much right now? I've apparently got 2 extra packs on me. Yeah, let's put away the extra packs, the extra spacesuit, and the extra apparel. We can sort through all that later. Yeah, that brings me down under 100, which should be good for now. Right. So now let's save again with all that sorted. And then we're going to get right to it. I'm not going to bother going to the well and selling it. Although I want to show you where I found that evidence at some point. But I'm anxious to get back to it because it's now been a whole episode and a half that I've been procrastinating on this mission. Alright, so now it should say chance to evade scan 89%, I believe, or something like that. I don't know if I can ever increase that to 100.
Maintain current course while we scan for
I
contraband.
think there's always going to be an 11% chance of me getting caught.
Scan complete.
Scan evaded.
Go ahead and land.
Thank you kindly. Whoop. I'm looking forward to talking to Vladimir again. Very curious how he'll feel about all this stuff that's going on with the Crimson Fleet. I assume he's on board the Eye still. I mean, honestly, it's been a hot minute since I've checked in with, excuse me, with members of Constellation to see what's going on with them. I know Matthias wants me to. Wants me to go talk to some religious leader here in New Atlantis, but it was my supreme disinterest in doing that that led me down this road. We'll get back to the main story eventually. It certainly is getting interesting. But all the side stuff, I always find the side stuff more interesting than the main story in these games. Alright, commercial district, here we are. Why don't I see... Oh, there it is. We already talked to everyone in the lobby of Galbank. I'm getting a little bit of lag here now. I think I got it last time I ran through here too. It's a little bit of bad optimization in the middle of New Atlantis here. We already talked to these guys. This guy gave me a quest that we'll do eventually, but right now, let's get to the reason we're actually here. To the archives. Deal with the Galbank Guard. What do you mean, deal with the Galbank Guard? What does that mean? Did I just get an autosave coming up here, just out of curiosity? I did. Okay, good. Okay. Let's, quote-unquote, deal with the guard. The other elevator. Guard's not immediately hostile. Just for science, we're gonna see what happens if I just try to, like... Now I see why I have to, quote-unquote, deal with the guard. Can't deal with them that way. Seeing if the key is, like, sitting on the counter. Okay. I assume these are, like, metal detectors, so I'm being a little... some kind of way. Like, if an NPC definitely has something on them, like, this annoyed me when we were doing the Trident luxury liner that I can never remember the name of, the cruise ship siege. That guy had, like, the evidence slate on him, but I couldn't pickpocket it, and then he just, like, pulled it out and gave it to me, like, where was he stashing that thing? Same with this key card, like, you have it up your butt, too? Because that's my prevailing theory on where NPCs are hiding this stuff.
Hello. Welcome to the Galbank Archives. May I see your credentials, please?
Are there any other employees down here?
Oh, no. None at all. I'm all alone down here. Yep. Completely by myself. Well, I guess you're down here too, right? So that's two of us now. Sorry, not trying to lie to you or anything. Just, yeah.
Wow. Okay. You're funny. I like this guy. Is this where Galbank keeps all his records?
No. No, this is just their deep storage facility.
Right.
All the current records are upstairs in the main facility. This is where they put the older data onto long-term servers.
Right, makes sense. I mean, and that's what we're here for, is the older data. Here
Just
you go.
one moment while I verify. Oh, yes, Mr. Dombrowski. Welcome, sir. Give me a moment to log your visit, and then I'll unseal the archives.
Sounds good. He is acting a bit strange. I almost feel like he's a plant, like someone, like a pirate that's like here, or maybe he's the security guy that, well, I don't know. Do you usually treat all Galbank executives this unprofessional? No, I'm not going to ask that. You're acting a bit strange.
Me? No. Look.
Oh, first day on the
This is my
job.
first day on the job. Just cut me some slack, okay? I can't afford to lose it. Got a wife and kids to feed.
No,
Everything
no problem,
checks
man.
out. Give me a moment to log your visit, and then I'll unseal the archives. There we go. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, you too, man. Good luck with the new job. I'm sure what I'm about to do will not cause you any problems with that. So no one else down here, so I have free run of the place. Deal with the ecliptic ambush. What the fudge?
I need cover now.
He was acting so strange because he was bullshitting me. So I wonder who hired them first. I have so many questions right now. But we'll have to deal with combat first. Is that dude still out here? Of course, he fucking bailed. I was 100% coming back out here to kill that guy. Ooh, took a lot of damage there. Oh, I don't know why I'm not used to this. Just that one lap? Yeah, I think so. Utility headphones? Okay. No, that one left is a level 76 elite. Guess it doesn't surprise me they put him up on the upper level. Let's go deal with that before we explore further. Recover information regarding Galbank's lost transport. I really was hoping to find, like, on this one especially, like an audio log or a text log explaining why they were here. But I think I can surmise why they were here. That executive, that smart aleck mother trucker that gave me his credentials for this heist, no doubt hired them to guard the archives. Cause me trouble. So I've learned my lesson about not being thorough exploring places, so we're gonna take our time here. I can see where the quest objective is trying to point me to. But we're gonna have a nice little look around before we jump the gun. Yeah, I get it. That's where they want me to go. Read both those books before. Oh, it did show me what... That's nice that it shows you what loot's on them and when you're in scan mode like this. Alright, that's the upstairs search. Let me go downstairs real quick. I don't think there'll be any loot worth grabbing here. But like I said, I've learned my lesson. Oh, everything here is stealing too. Interesting. Wait, what? Oh, right, I see. Okay. I was like, where's this leading me down to? Oh. Oh, I can loot from scan mode too. That's nice. Alright, I think we're pretty much done. Yeah. No, it's the one computer. Go figure. Lost ship registry, transponder information, database disclaimer. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way up with this one. By accessing archive materials, you are hereby consenting to observing proprietary materials belonging to Galbank and its subsidiaries. Any information contained within the system is for the express use of Galbank employees only. Whoops. Sharing this information with entities outside the Galbank ecosystem will result in immediate termination and potential criminal prosecution. Any concerns regarding these rules should be directed to Galbank Legal in New Atlantis. Transponder information. At Galbank, all Galbank transports have been fitted with CBR-type encrypted transponder beacons. These beacons broadcast a predetermined, long-range, unique signature ping using high-frequency hyperburst scatter arrays. The arrays ensure that the beacons are always broadcasting at a maximum spread to assist any specially equipped search vessels. CBR transponders feature the latest in encryption technology, boasting military-grade ultrabit encryption, fully cycling crypto modulation, and a cascading frequency spectrum. In order to properly track a target transport, please submit a request to the security office to receive a tracking cipher. Ooh, so maybe that's another part of this mission we're going to have to do. The transponders operate via an independent, self-contained power source that allows them to remain detection capable for up to 250 years. Well, that's going to come in handy because apparently this ship went down many years ago. Note that as the life of the power source declines, the broadcast reception radius will be gradually reduced. Lost ship registry. There's the one. We're obviously going to click on all this stuff. They name their ships in funny ways. Serendipity, Legacy, Prosperity, and Supremacy. Serendipity. Lost in 2188, Captain D.B. Redgrave. It was a transport. Its cargo was credits, which I'm not sure how money works in this universe. Obviously, cred sticks are physical objects, but when you loot them, you don't get a cred stick. You get credits, right? So it seems to me like the currency is mostly digital in this universe. In fact, I think I heard, like, when they were talking about the, by they, I mean, like, I can't remember any names right now. I'm so sorry. The executive who gave us this access card and the woman he was having an affair with and the Vega, the security guard, or UC fraud department guy that were conspiring. When the lady that was having the affair gave me the details of her operation, it made it sound like she was doing some like ghost credits thing and this and that. It made it very much sound like it's a digital currency at the end of the day. So it's weird that they would need transports to transport the credits. I sort of was like confused by that. It seemed like a plot hole in regards to the legacy. Like, why would it be transporting credits? Like, credits aren't a physical thing, right? Like, I don't think they are, but maybe they are. Maybe there's some mix. Like, maybe, like, in modern day, money is like it has a physical form, but keeping track of like currency is very often done digitally. I don't know. I don't know. Departed from Jemison. Intended arrival point is classified. Last known system position unknown. Full transponder loss. Last known planetary location unknown. Full transponder loss. Search attempts 4 attempts failed. So this one, the Serendipity, is also still out there lost somewhere, but cred tank load. I don't know. 1.76 million credits. Wow. That's a chunk of change. So they must use some physical thing to represent credits in this universe. And obviously you deposit that physical thing at GalBank and they, add digital credits to your account that you can then use to buy things. You can load them onto a cred stick. I presume that's how it all works. But they, as a bank, need to, manage the physical representation of credits to sort of back the digital credits that they have in their accounts. That's what we're going to assume. I'm obviously going to save this one for last. Prosperity. Captain L.M. Guthrie. Transport was just transporting supplies. Departed from Voli Alpha. That's where Neon is. Intended arrival point is classified. Last known system position unknown. Again, full transponder loss on this one. They made 2 search attempts. Less attempts than the other ship because there was only supplies on this one. And the search attempts failed. And then Supremacy. Transport, this one was also transporting credits. And this one says cred stick load. So maybe that's how the credits are physical, is because they're loaded onto cred sticks. What did this one say? Cred tank load. So presumably there's something called a cred tank, similar to a cred stick, but maybe like bigger. The word tank makes me think bigger. Cred stick load, value 1.16 million credits. Oh, transponder type CBR 28E. CBR 27. CBR 28. CBR 28E. So they kept upgrading the transponders they were using. Right, and apparently 28E is the lucky version because departed from Mars, presumably Cydonia. Intended arrival point was Alpha Centauri Jemison, presumably New Atlantis. Last known system position was Sol. Last known planetary location was Saturn, which is a gas giant. So presumably a moon of Saturn is maybe where it crashed, unless it crashed into the gas giant, which it would definitely be lost then. They made 2 attempts at this one, and both of them failed, despite them knowing where to look for once. All right, time for the main show, the main feature here. Captain was X Lane. Lost 3/5/22/11. Not that means anything to me. It's hard to keep track of dates in this game. Although I'd love to I'm sure someone online has compiled a timeline of the events that have specific dates in this game. I'll have to look that up. Maybe once I'm done playing through the main story to see, to just get a better feel for like the history of this world, because the world building has been really stellar. It's a fun word to use for this. Stellar in Starfield. Ooh. So this was a cred tank load. Credits cred tank load. And this one must have been huge. A huge load of credits, because unlike the ones that were like millions of credits, the approximate value of this load was classified. And unlike all the other ships, the departure point even for this one, classified. Intended arrival point, classified. But this CBR-27 transponder did not fail. Last known system position, Bannock. Last known planetary location, Bannock 4. Again, implications that this was a much bigger value than some of the other ships they've lost. They made 8 attempts to search for this crash site, and all of them failed. Are we going to be able to succeed, we meaning the Crimson Fleet, succeed in finding this location where Galbank's many attempts have failed, and where Jasper Crix's attempts apparently also failed? We'll see. We'll see. Alright, let's see in which way that updated our quest. I've gained all the information I can regarding the Galbank transport legacy. I should now return to the key and report my findings to Delgado. Make sense? Let's get out of here before someone waltzes in and discovers all the dead bodies. This freaking security guard. Should have shot him when he started acting sketchy. Oh well. You live and you learn. Hopefully the people in the lobby didn't hear all the gunfire coming from upstairs. Everything seems pretty calm down here. Oh, my new favorite character in the game isn't here anymore. I hope she got the job. You okay over there?
Together we can really make a difference.
She was a named NPC. I hope I find her again elsewhere. I wish I remembered what her name was. I'd love to find her as like someone I can recruit onto my ship. Like maybe she didn't get the job at Galbank and I can recruit her to be part of my crew. I may have to go back and watch that video to just remember what her name was, because I'd love to follow up on that NPC if I can.
To apply for the job?
I don't know about that.
Those 100 other people will say the same. Dreams will always be out of reach for those who refuse to step toward them.
They were talking about interviewing for jobs, so for a second I thought maybe I'd find my favorite NPC in there. I'm sort of just poking around the other businesses up here, because maybe she's just going around applying to any job that will
Ever wonder how the Crimson Fleet
sure makes a great
everywhere?
steak.
that will take her. Anyway, oh man, look at my health. We may have to travel back to Gila City and rest in my bed to recover my health and do some inventory management. But for now, I think let's continue following this through. I assume once I go to the key and report into Delgado, this will move on to either the next stage of this quest or potentially a new quest that happens to be like called the Legacy or something. Maybe the final quest in the Crimson Fleet / UC quest line. I also suspect that once I report into Delgado, it may be time to go back and report into the UC Vigilance as well, which I'm hoping I can do so I can talk to Armin in the brig, track down my second favorite NPC and see if she has any new dialogue, among other things. I've got a bunch of evidence to hand in now. A bunch of evidence, actually. I've got like 3 or 4 pieces of evidence to hand in at least. So let's do it. That was nice and quick. I wasn't sure how long that would take, but we did wrap it up in this video. So I'm glad I did that side stuff first, because I think we're gonna land on a really nice organic place to stop this mission, or I mean to stop this video. Goodness, stumbling over my words today.
Captain, do you
Let's be real, I
require
stumble
my
over my
assistance?
words every day. Rook. Yeah, after the thing with that cruise ship and the Galbank archives and fighting off the Ecliptics, like, I want a promotion, Delgado. I want to be promoted to captain, please.
Every time I see Radley smile, I want to punch him in the face.
You can get
I'm about to run into that same problem I ran into before, where I like don't know how to get up. Oh, let's sigh. The last Nova. Bunks. Pretty sure there's a staircase going
Every
up
captain
from
here
the
has earned
bunks,
their
right?
stripes.
From the other end of them.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah, good memory. For once, my memory does not fail me. Alright, it may just launch me into dialogue when I get close, so I'm going to save my game right here. I'm really hoping I can talk him into bringing Rokov back into the fleet, as I've mentioned like 30 times at this point. If I'm ever going to get the opportunity to do so, it's going to be now. But I still don't know why he got kicked out in the first place. So maybe I'm going to learn that he really like permanently bumbled his chances. But it's really mean that these people are like leading him on and using him. If that's the case.
Your buddy Rokov is aboard the Key. Told me everything that happened.
Yeah, he won't shut up about you. Keeps going on and on. Now I remember why we kicked his ass out.
He is back aboard the Key. I like that. Oh, I love this. I love the direction this is going. So he's on the Key. Back aboard the Key. It sounds like they're going to accept him back in the fleet, although maybe I should read these dialogue options before I assume that. Rokov's not so bad. He turned out to be pretty helpful. Yeah, that's what we're going to say. Yeah, Rokov's not so bad. He turned out to be pretty helpful.
That'd be a first.
All right, Neva, you've made your point.
I wonder if Neva's the one
since you're vouching for Rokov,
had a problem with him.
I guess we can give him another chance.
Yes! Woo!
All right. Now that is
makes
out of
me
the
so
way,
happy.
we can move on to the matter at hand. Crix's legacy.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of which,
I'm really glad.
let me see that
I'm so
data you
happy.
copied from the Galbank archives. Ah, so the Galbank transport went down over Bannock 4.
Yeah.
Why does that sound familiar? Neva?
Yeah, keep your panties on. I'm looking it up. And I got it. Bannock 4. Let's see. Damn it. Bannock 4 is an EM-class gas giant. We can't even get a ship near the thing without frying every circuit aboard.
EM class. I assume that stands for electromagnetic gas giant, huh? Interesting. There's got to be a way. So we've hit a dead end. I'm willing to give it a shot. EM class gas giant. Tell me more.
Don't know that one, huh? Well, pick up your pencil. There's gonna be a test on this later. EM class.
I love Neva.
Means the planet is giving off a ridiculously high amount of electromagnetic radiation. We're talking off the charts here. Fly your ship anywhere near one of these death traps, and you'll blow every single circuit on your ship. You'd be dead in space. Get it?
I do get it. I think there was a gas giant planet that I went to once when I was exploring systems to do surveying. I got a scan off on it. But when I was just traveling to that planet, there was this red sort of mist in the atmosphere, like in space near the planet, with red lightning, and it constantly damaged my ship. Like really quickly did damage to it. I had to immediately fly away to not be destroyed. And it was a while back that this happened. So I can't remember if this is something that was on a video that I've posted to my channel, or if it was something that happened to me between videos. I sort of concluded that it wasn't anything special. It was just like, because when I looked at the scan of the planet, it said like magnetosphere extreme or something to that effect. So I assumed it was something like that. Like there are some planets out there that have such an extreme magnetic field that they will F up your ship if you go anywhere near them. It may have even been Bannock. It may have even been this planet, Bannock 4.
This silence is really pissing me off.
Oh, relax, Neva. Can I pause? Oh, good, I can. Yeah. So I may have like stumbled upon this part of the like area for this part of the story previously. It may have just been a different planet with a similar effect. I have a feeling that's what we're gonna find there. Is the bottom line. So what are my options here? I'm willing to give it a shot. So we've hit a dead end. There's got to be like I feel like if I say this, she's gonna be like, "You're dumb. Like you're just gonna die if you go there." This is more of the like, do you have any ideas, Neva, as to how we could make this work? There's got to be a way.
Yeah, sure. We'll just wrap your ship in a ton of copper and launch you right in there. That ought to do the trick, right?
Both of you shut up and think for a second. I'm sure Creeks hit the same roadblock. All we need to do is figure out how he got around it.
This sounds like a goddamn waste of time.
I like that Delgado's positive. I agree with Neva. This might be leading us nowhere. I mean, I do agree with her. Like this really does sound like a moonshot at this point. Crix wouldn't have given up. I mean, I don't think he did. I think his disappearance is directly linked to this fool's errand that it's probably bad that we're following in his footsteps. So maybe the two of these are linked. Maybe the data's wrong. No, I'm sure they have good data on that planet. Crix wouldn't have given up.
That's the spirit, Rook. That is the essence of the Crimson Fleet that has been slipping away lately. Neighbor, the Galbank data says the transport had a CBR-27 transponder. Can we track that kind of thing? Pinpoint its exact location?
That transponder is military grade. We're talking ultra-bit encryption.
Yeah, I read about that.
Constantly reshuffling frequencies. We don't have shit like that laying around. But before you get that pissy look on your face, I heard that the UC's been working on a ship signal decryption system called the ComSpike. We grab that little beauty, and we'll be able to track anything you want.
All right, here is the plan, so shut up and listen. Rook, I want you and Neighbor to put your heads together and get us that ComSpike. I don't care if it's mounted at the top of mast. I want it. In the meantime, I'm going to find out more about this EM-class gas giant problem. And I think I know just who to ask.
Give me a little time to crunch the numbers on the ComSpike with Jazz, and I'll point us in the right direction.
Yeah, we know Jazz has someone on the inside with UC. that's been supplying her with equipment for the key.
Better start talking.
And intel and stuff. God, Delgado, will you relax? So when we were in the archives, we read about that this transponder was not going to be just like it wasn't just going to give us a quest marker on the map. Like there's going to be more involved with being able to track it successfully. I think in the logs there it said that like you'd have to like speak to a superior to get them to like authorize like the specific encryption for the tracking or something like that, so that you'd be able to track it if you were officially tasked with looking for the thing. But of course we can't do that. So the writers of the game wrote themselves in the corner and then invented a miraculous technology that's going to allow us to overcome this problem called the comm spike or something like that. I've already forgotten, but that's funny. So we're going to try to steal this thing that UC Defenses, UC something the UC's been working on basically at Mast. Some new technology to allow them to track ships transponders despite any encryption defenses that might be in place. And we're going to find it, and we're going to steal it. Neva's going to check in with Jazz. What is it that Delgado wants from us now? We'll figure this out, I promise. We'll do the best we can. Oh, great. Stick me with Neva. You don't give up easily, do you?
We do or we die. That's the way Crick thinks. And that is the way we should have been doing it for years. It's as simple as that.
All right, Delgado. Delgado has a lot of respect for Cricks, and I respect his respect. We'll figure this out, I promise. Seems a little much. We'll do the best we can. No, I'm going to stay positive. Delgado likes it when I have a positive attitude about this whole tilting at windmills we're doing here. We'll figure this out, I promise.
You gonna write back in that diary, little girl?
All right,
God.
that is enough. We are in arm's reach of Crick's legacy, and I don't have time to deal with this kind of bullshit.
Oh God, I
Now,
pissed
both
everyone
of you
off
get
with
the
that
hell
choice.
out of here and get to work.
All right, let's get this over with. Follow me.
You got it, Neva. Oh God, I kind of regret choosing the I promise thing too. I even said it as I was choosing it. Like, I don't know about that. It's a bit much. Well, Systef respects that you're a serious threat. Don't ask me how I know that. I'm right behind you, Neva. No need to check in on me.
The fleet protects our order, but you turn against us. You are dead.
Relax. I would never do such a thing. I'm definitely not a undercover operative for Systef. Ship services. Yeah, we're heading right down the Jazz. Jazz only. Ooh. You okay there, Neva? Oh, yeah, option. Oh, okay. Whoa. Speak to Neva. After reporting my actions on the Siren of the Stars to Delgado, Neva wants me to follow her and then speak to her about the Earth Savior Award. Optional, give the Earth Savior Award to Neva. Yeah, we'll definitely give it to her. I'm gonna be honest, I completely forgot we had that.
All right, let's get right to it. Did you get the Earth Savior Award? Or I'm not gonna be very disappointed.
Fear not, Neva. I have done well. What's Jazz doing here? No. Like Jazz works here, what? Why do I have the feeling you're gonna make more money off this thing than I? I mean, true. I feel like I'm not gonna ask this. Because of course she is. Dumb question. I feel like this is also a dumb question, but I'm curious why this is even on the dialogue tree, so I'm gonna ask it.
First of all, this is my section of the key, so I'm gonna stand here for as long as I want. And second of all, I know all about that award and your deal with Neva. We don't keep secrets between us. Just throttle down and give her the damn thing already so we can get to work.
Oh, that's right. I forgot her and Neva are a couple, and also, I'm like, yeah, that's why I thought it was a dumb question, because she works here. Like, of course she's here. But now I understand why it's on the dialogue tree, because, like, I was like, should we really be talking about, like, the side project you had me working on in front of Jazz? Here you go.
Well, look at that. You followed my directions, and now you're gonna end up with some credits in your pocket. That about does it. Hell of a deal for both of us, I'd say.
Yeah, Neva,
Anyway,
I'm glad I was able to
here's your
make that work.
cash. Keep this up, and I might even start respecting you.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
We've all got work to do, so let's get to it.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I was kind of expecting a promotion by now, but wait. All right, Fleet. We've all got work to do, so let's get started. Like, didn't we come down to work with Jazz about this thing?
Smuggle. I've got the stuff to hide it.
I guess she wanted me to come down here with her so she could ask me about the Earth Savior Award, but she needs to confer with Jazz, independent of me, to discuss things and stuff. I just saw my objective update to report mission progress on the UC Vigilance. So let's get to it. I was definitely wanting to get back on board the Vigilance. Got a lot of stuff to do on there. So let's go. Where are they now? Oh, they are... Wait, what? Oh, right, Arene. Oh, so they're in the same system as the cruise ship that I hit. Interesting. So they must have tracked me that far, but didn't track me all the way to New Atlantis, to the Gal Bank. Okay, let's go. I see no reason to dilly-dally. Let's continue progressing this quest. Well, I should have hailed them first. Oh well, whatever. They're expecting me, obviously, since they only ever let me know where they are when they want me to report in.
And we're docking. And complete.
Easy peasy. Alright. Vasco, I need you to move.
Informal greeting, but I am dissatisfied with the results.
Break, yeah.
I saw one of the ends giving out sorry from Officer Roja.
Oh, I feel like that NPC was saying something interesting, but... This guard is still here? Aren't you done being chewed out by now? Alright, let's save before we talk to Armin, but we're definitely talking to him before we do anything else on board the Vigilance here. It's good to have a save on the Vigilance, because I know once I leave here, I'm not going to regain access to this place for a hot minute. I'm also like, I thought this prison area, the brig area here, was going to be used more. So far, it's only been this one prisoner that we've brought here. I thought, like, I was going to be taking down pieces of the Crimson Fleet bit by bit, and they were going to all end up in the brig here. Sort of like a collection of, like, criminals I'd taken down. Maybe once I turn in all this evidence I have, they'll get more people in the brig here. But I feel kind of some way about that, because I think we're nearing the end of this quest. A lot of the pieces of evidence I found recently, I feel like were maybe available to me earlier in this quest line. So I'm concerned that I'm going to, like, turn them all in, get some more intel maybe about the Crimson Fleet, but then I'm going to miss, like, the opportunity to, like, see the criminals stacking up in here. I mean, I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. The ship has sailed. There's no point in speculating on what might have been. Let's show... oh, right. I'm glad I just saved, because if he takes my interview tape, which I definitely want to, like, have a collection of them, we may just not ever show it to him. If he, like, takes it and doesn't give it back. But we'll definitely see what he has to say, for sure.
Some of the guards don't take kindly to prisoners, but we should try to attain some decorum.
I found this slate where Crick says the prisoners of the lock were tortured.
So it's true. All my life I've been led to believe the guards on the lock were heroes. But there was part of me that always doubted this story. Even as a child, learning about the history from the slates. Thank you.
Yeah, can I see those
for bringing me this. I get that Crick is about as unreliable a witness as they come, but I believe him.
Yeah, I already know that it was like his grandfather or something was a guard at the lock, and he's heard these stories about the lock and stuff since childhood. I didn't see the slate get removed from my inventory, but he did say thank you for bringing this to me. We'll check in a minute. Why is the history of the lock so important to you?
Because it isn't just any history.
It's my family's.
It's my family's. If you open up a history list and look up the name Gero Petrosian, you'll find a hero decorated in medals he earned for escaping the riots on Suvorov.
I hadn't heard of him. I mean, that's true. Why was he awarded medals? He just told me, but yeah.
For helping his fellow guards escape the riots. And maybe that part is true, but it conveniently skips everything that happened before that. No one ever asks what prompted the riots. It was just criminals being criminals. And that was explanation enough.
Yeah. These questions are a little weird because I feel like in our last dialogue with him, when we talked about going down to the lock, he revealed all this already. But it's entirely possible that I could have found Crix's interview, slate number 4, prior to going down to the lock and then brought it to him. So maybe this dialogue tree was meant to happen prior to the dialogue we've already had with him. Petrosian, as in your ancestor?
My great-grandfather, to be exact.
Great-grandfather, okay.
He lived until the year 2297, 10 years after I was born.
Oh, so what? As a 10-year-old, you heard some stories. So he was one of the guards who tortured prisoners, period. Both of these, I think, are... So he was one of the guards who tortured prisoners. Like, I feel like this should have a question mark at the end. I hadn't heard of him, also true. I mean, I guess I'll say this. I don't know which one of these is a good choice.
Maybe. I don't know for certain. But what I do know is when I remember the look on his face, it's never one of pride. The thing is, even as my family rode the coattails of our name, I always felt like something wasn't right with the story. And it always came back that day in the yard, playing a game with my brother. It's the only memory I have of my great-grandfather's sticks.
Did you get this position because of your name? That's a really rude thing to ask, but I'm gonna.
I'd like to say no, but how can that be true? Pursuing a military career, the name could only help.
Yeah. It's really big of him as a person to not just accept the rose-tinted glasses version of his family history, but to actually want to know the truth, even if it casts his family's history in a bad light. Tell me about this memory.
It was about a week before war passed. Me and my brother had a house to ourselves, and we're playing a game we called Prisoner's Run. It was a simple game. We drew a line in the dirt, and the object was for the guard to keep the prisoner from crossing it. But on that day, my brother came to the yard with an added surprise. He found a chest in the attic, filled with goodies.
Oh, great-grandfather's old guard uniform, huh?
And a medal to serve as prize for the winner.
This is interesting. Like, I can choose what my character would focus on. I think this is what I would choose. Like, the medal he got from escaping the riots, like, that, like, duh. But also, that's not important. Like, the uniform from his work as a prison guard, like, I think that, if anything, would have been the thing that set his great-grandfather off, which I think is what we're about to hear happened. The uniform from his work as a prison guard.
Most likely. But given how unceremonious the boxes were, how could we have known? But when our family returned,
He was not
I knew
proud of that
something was
history.
wrong. My great-grandfather didn't say a word, but behind his eyes I could see it. The shame. No one said anything to either of us. But the next day, the uniform and the medal were gone. At the time, I never understood why he kept those things buried in the attic. Now, it all seems so clear.
I love this dialogue tree. I can try to, like, convince him that, you know, there's nothing certain about his grandfather's history or great-grandfather's history. You know, he may have not been a torturer, he may have just been, I mean, but, you know, as the saying goes, you know, if there's 3 cops at a traffic stop and one of them plants drugs and the other 2 stand idly by and do nothing about that, then you got 3 corrupt cops at that traffic stop, you know, or you know, I think, which is just a variation on this. I think the actual saying is like, you sit down to a dinner party, and there's 10 Nazis at the table, and there's 1 Nazi at the table. Of 11 people, you're actually sitting with 11 Nazis or something like that. I don't know. I'm sure someone out there knows the saying I'm trying to think of. But then I can also choose, your ancestor was at best a fraud, at worst a torturer, which is true, but like unnecessarily harsh.
You have permission to speak. I suggest
this, on the other hand, is like me assuming that his great-grandfather was a bad man. This is me assuming he may not have been a bad man. But this is, you know, it doesn't matter. Yeah, whoever your ancestor was, it doesn't matter. You're not him.
I appreciate the kind words. I suppose that's the lesson I need to take from this.
Yeah, Armin, and I hope you will.
It's hard to feel anything but shame.
It wasn't you, man.
Thanks for talking this through with me.
And the fact you care is meaningful.
What really happened on Suvorov, but at least now, I have some beyond the family myth.
I'm happy for you, man. I'm glad I was able to get that for you. And I really hope I'm able to keep that as the conclusion, as the canon conclusion to our interactions, but if you took that interview tape from me, I'm going to be a little salty about it. Nope, we still got it. Awesome. That was a really nice talk we had, Armin. A pleasure as always. I hope you do find a way to accept the past and realize that you're not the same man that your great-grandfather was. And you certainly don't have to be, even if you somewhat followed in his footsteps. Career-wise. Alright, cool. That was really cool. I really liked that. I liked that quite a bit. Great storytelling there. Armin's voice actor also killing it. Really, really great job.
Hello.
Let's save just in case this immediately launches me into dialogue like the game likes to do sometimes. I do want to go check on my friend.
Early reports say your mission
Yeah, see, these guys are just a huge rumor mill here. They always, like, everyone on the ship knows everything I've done before I even get here to report.
There was a bit of excitement on the Siren of the Stars. Your
Oh my god. Really, game? no, we're not having this conversation like that. Okay, so yes, established. It's gonna yank me into dialogue. I don't get a chance to look around and find my second favorite NPC. We're just forced to immediately engage with the commander. So even if I try to go downstairs first, he's gonna talk to us through the bulkhead if that's what it takes. So fine, I'll just walk up to him so we can at least see his face.
So there was a bit of excitement on the Siren of the Stars. Your handiwork, I assume?
I was able to successfully steal the Galbank credentials. News travels fast around here. Some of the Siren of the Stars passengers should be arrested. No, I'm not going to rat out their little, like, operation with Galbank. That's just unnecessary. And this is me cutting right to the point. Like, I think this is the line I want. News travels fast around here.
I told you we'd be keeping tabs on you. So, did you get information for us or not?
Lots of information. I was able to successfully steal the Galbank credentials.
Yes, and I heard there were no casualties. Excellent work.
Thank you, Commander.
Except for the ecliptic hit squad we took down at the archives. We've taken care of that, by the way.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Speaking
You know what
I assume you copied
that
the
was about.
information from the Galbank's computers.
I did.
Let me see what you got.
Oh, you just
The
took
legacy
it from me.
went down at Banner 4.
Oh, okay.
4. Why does that sound familiar?
Bannock 4 is an even gas giant, sir. Is there a ship in the fleet that could safely get near that type of world?
How did you know all
the
that?
Bannock system was the site of a significant battle during the Armenian War. I had to do a research paper on the subject at the Academy.
Yeah, the Narian War. I think the Narian War was like the precursor to the Colony War. Like a separate war between the Freestar Collective and the UC. I mean, I do feel like we've hit a dead end. I'd certainly like the UC staff to feel like we've hit a dead end. But I feel like this is also true. Like, he's working on it. But I don't want them to think like I'm starting to admire this guy. I don't know. Delgado will figure it out.
Sounds like you have a lunatic.
Oh, yeah, I was worried about that. He's kept ahead of Sistef. I don't admire him, but you have to admit he's been clever.
I think his gospel's gone straight to your head. Maybe we made a mistake choosing this assignment.
Oh God, I really did walk down a bad path here. Yeah, please.
Even if Delgado has an immediate solution to the EM problem, it's still a matter of tracing the legacy transponder signal.
Aren't you concerned that I'm helping them get closer to Crix's legacy?
Of course, we don't really have a choice in that. There are no shortcuts. The route you're taking to secure Crix's legacy to the Crimson is the only one that is possible. Suddenly change your behavior, they'll know something's wrong. I realize it's difficult, but I urge you to stay the course for now. In the meantime, we'll formulate a plan to ensure Crimson Fleet doesn't get their hands on that money.
Can't you just fly someone out there and trace it yourself?
I'm not certain. Galbank uses their own proprietary transponder system. Even a ship that holds the legacy would be a challenge to trace. And even if we could find the ship, we don't have anything strong enough to resist those levels of EM radiation. Fortunately, we're hampered by the same obstacles as the Crimson Fleet.
Fair. They think something called the comm spike will solve that problem.
They have information about the comm spike? Damn it.
Yeah. I knew they wouldn't like that.
I'm familiar with that device, sir.
No, you shouldn't be familiar with it. It's a highly classified project. It's an advanced signal encryption and tracking device that the UC Navy has been working on for years. How the hell did the Crimson Fleet find out about that?
There must be an information leak somewhere, sir. It's the only thing that makes sense. I'll see what I can find out.
Fine. This is what we're going to do. You keep playing along and go after the conscript. Lieutenant Toft and I will see what we can find out about Band 4.
Are you any closer to convincing the Council to attack the Crimson Fleet?
My superiors are stubborn. They aren't going to authorize an attack on the key based on my flights of fancy, I've been told. We need more evidence that all the Crimson Fleet's plans will result in them actually getting their hands on sustainable cash credits.
Aren't we going to warn the UC Navy about my attempt to grab the comm spike?
I don't see the point. Crimson Fleet apparently has a pipeline of information flowing from somewhere within the UC military.
Yeah,
an attempt to move the comm spike would be a waste of time. You can play this close up best.
Yeah, it's smart. He's a smart cookie. I'll report back with any evidence that I recover.
Perfect. Just stick with the plan and we'll see who gets to Crick's legacy first.
Alright, I'm very curious. So, okay, bunch of quest updates are happening. I'm gonna load my save. I believe I saved right before I engaged in dialogue with them, right here. I want to see what happens if I take a different approach with this dialogue tree. My instincts tell me it's an all roads lead to Rome situation. But I want to see if they freak out at me a little less if I choose to say that they've hit a dead end. Instead of Delgado will figure it out. Because Lieutenant Toft was not a fan. I am going to reload that save I just made when I'm done seeing. I'm going to commit to the choices I've already made. But I'm curious, right? Maybe you're curious too. Let's find out.
So I heard there was a bit of...
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what'll happen if I pick this also. Like, would they arrest that Galbank executive and things, and they'd be in the brig so I could talk to them and stuff? I mean, ultimately, I was able to talk them all into doing what I wanted, so I feel like I should let them go.
We told you we'd keep...
I was able to steal the credentials.
Except for the...
Speaking of which, let me see what you got. So the legacy...
Band 4 is an E. The panic system was...
Alright. I feel like they've hit a dead end.
Good. That just slows them down for a while.
They're moving faster than you think. Interesting. So this brought me to a new dialogue tree. I didn't have any of these options before. I can say maybe, but I feel like I'm helping them too much. I think she'd like this. I think if I pick either of these, she's going to freak out at me again. Especially this one. They're moving faster than you think. Which will lead me into the... Yeah, maybe, but I feel like I'm helping them too much.
You're doing exactly what we told you to do. What? Do you think we're stupid?
All right, calm down, Lieutenant.
Wow, it really is all roads lead to Rome.
Immediate solution to the EM problem. There's still the matter of tracing the legacy's transponder signal.
Interesting. Okay. I'm satisfied. Lieutenant Toft is a bit of a B word, no matter what I choose. I feel like what I chose the first time through was my honest reaction to the dialogue choices, so we're gonna stick with that. So anyway, let's see what we got. Delgado has asked that I talk to Neva and Jasmine and work out a plan to get the comm spike. Meet Neva and Jasmine on the key. Okay. Return evidence to Lieutenant Toft. We have a bunch of evidence now, so we're gonna go talk to Lieutenant B-Face over here. But before we talk to Lieutenant Cranky Pants, lieutenant, like, obsessively angry at the Crimson Fleet. I'd like to learn more about her backstory to understand why. We're gonna track down my second favorite. Yes,
But you're making
Javonta.
progress with this operation. Sentiments are shifting.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Javonta.
Your joint system. All the new energy went straight from you.
I love you, Javonta. You have any new dialogue for me, Javonta, dear?
Tell me, is it true that you were on the stage?
Yes! Oh, I love it.
Oh, I've never been on a luxury cruise liner. Is it as wonderful as they say?
Honestly, it's not really my style.
You really could have used me there. It's not my style either, but unlike you, I love to pretend.
I would have loved to have you there.
Did I
with me,
tell you I
Javonta.
once took ballroom dancing lessons? I watched a lot of spy shows as a kid, and I learned it just in case I ever found myself in a situation like yours.
she's
Now
the
I'm
best.
mad I missed my one opportunity to put those talents to use. Really, I could have shown you a few moves.
It's awkward that she's staring at the wall while having this conversation with me. But she's so great. Javonta, since that other NPC's disappeared probably forever, I'm bumping you back up to favorite NPC status. You've earned it. Ooh, I love this. I love this. There's always other missions down the road. Funny, you always struck me as someone who couldn't dance. That's unnecessarily mean. Please tell me that she's a romanceable character. I would love that so much. Maybe I'll take you on a cruise someday.
That would be delightful. Oh, can we bring my friend Aiko? She's one of our flashier models.
Absolutely.
But
I
yes,
would-
next
can
time you find
absolutely do
yourself
that.
on a luxury liner, let me know. I will be happy to assist.
You got it, girl. I will absolutely do so. A
Don't be a
pleasure, as
stranger.
always, to talk to you. I will not be a stranger. You can rest assured that every single time I set foot on this ship, I will be seeking you out to have one of these delightful conversations. You're the best. She is really so great.
Do what Commander Ikande says, and you'll go far.
Speaking of voice actors
Nice
just
work on
knocking it out of the
Siren.
park,
You keep this up, and this operation might finally get the folks at
like you
NAST
could
to
feel
shift
her
resources.
exuberant energy through those lines.
This mission
so
is going to
fucking
require
good.
discretion on a number of fronts.
I might. What seems to be the trouble?
Oh, no trouble. I'm just looking to increase the power in my thrusters. I'm hoping we can take.
Well, Javonta's having a conversation with that
course.
lieutenant, so I'm
Thrusters
listening
are
in.
my favorite part of the ship. Did you know? I did a thesis on Dioastroneering's Stingray propulsion system in school.
I did not, but if it gets my ship exploding off the line, then I'm all for it.
She's so great.
This mission will be tricky. The comm spike will be heavily guarded, but I trust you can do it without violence.
Right. I should actually speak to him again. He probably has more dialogue. Let's save again. I don't know why, but just cuz.
You have your orders. I trust you to follow them.
Are we at all concerned about stealing classified UC information?
Very concerned. Which is why when this is over, I'm going to ask Mass for forgiveness, not permission. So to help with that, I ask that you show additional care. Any crimes against UC personnel will bring unwanted attention to both you and the operation. It will be far easier to explain to Mast why the Crimson Fleet gained possession of classified material if the Crimson Fleet is no more.
Yeah, facts. Okay. I love that. Bro, I'm going to ask forgiveness after the fact instead of permission ahead of time. Yeah. How do you know about the comm spike?
Commanders are given briefings on classified projects, as they may be relevant to our current operations.
Which it was
On
in this
rare
case.
occasions, we may ask for a project to be pushed through or given more resources. In fact, we recently put in a request to upgrade our shields, which we
Right.
hope will pay dividends in the near future.
Yeah, I know about that. Okay, cool.
Good luck.
I knew you'd have more dialogue. Just like to prevent myself from having to go through dialogue again, I'll do one more save. And then we're going to go talk to Lieutenant Toft about all this evidence I've gathered.
What can I do for you?
What can you tell me about the comm spike? She didn't even know it existed, so probably nothing.
I know as much as you do. I wasn't briefed on this particular device. But if the fleet wants to trace the Legacy's transponder signal, they'll need something beyond the decryption tech we have currently. If such a device exists, it's likely being developed by the UC.
Got so bad I had to dust off with half my ship.
Do you know where the comp spec is being developed? Again, she's going to be like, no, are you even listening to what I'm saying?
That information is classified, so even what I do know, I can't divulge. Now, I realize as part of this mission, you'll probably end up finding out anyway, but that's besides the point. For the sake of your cover, it's best you work with whatever information the fleet gives you.
Yeah, that's fair. Anything else? Okay. I really want to learn more about her backstory. Sorry, you might hear my cats having a tiff in the background. Goodness, not sure if that came through the mic or not, but it startled me enough to stop what I was saying mid-sentence. I have evidence for you.
Nice work. Let me take a look.
A lot, quite a lot actually. Look at all this.
Is it true you're from Neon, Ensign? I've never been, but heard rumors.
Yeah, Neva wants to go back to that. It was that like
Yes. It wasn't as wild.
I sort of
as people say.
drove the Crimson Fleet out of there.
Built robots
But
and
that
drank
base on Crete where they were developing xeno warfare tech.
What kind of tea?
I'm a morning person, so I like a good breakfast blend.
Oh right, because this is from that thing I did for Bog. This is the one I discovered on the key. Or this is the other one I discovered on the key. Oh yeah. So that's probably the first thing.
If you don't mind,
oh my god,
I'd like
look
to
at all
hurry
these.
this up.
Relax, there's a lot. Right, so these are the two I found on this cruise ship. This is the one I found in Wolf, so let's start with that, and then I'll do the ones on the cruise ship, and then I'll do the ones I found on the key. And then last but not least, the one I got from the Bog side quest. Looks like Neva isn't finished with that base on Crete.
I have to hand it to Neva Mora. The lady's thorough. That facility on Crete still holds a good bit of valuable resources and equipment. All right, can't do much with this one except pass it over to the military. Hopefully they stop denying the base's existence and do something about it.
Yeah, true.
Find anything else?
A secret base in Freestar Collective space. Yeah, Radley Jasso. Which one was that? Oh, right. I found that on board the key. He's the one who, like, murdered the lady. Murdered some lady on the recording. Like, you can hear the gunshot and everything. Yeah, let's do these two. I mean, I'm not trying to throw my new friend Rokov on. Shit, that's right. I forgot. I meant to look around the key and try to find Rokov when I was there, but then it slipped my mind because I got distracted by things. Hopefully this won't immediately land Rokov in the
You seemed like
brig.
you were about to make a point and then nothing.
Relax, Toft. Got this piece of information on a certain Galbank employee who was aboard the Siren of the Stars. Let's start with this one. Found some evidence about you, Evgeny Rokov.
Tisk, tisk. Looks like Mr. Rokov lied on his application to Trident Luxury Lines about having a clean record. No matter. Next time he jumps from the key, we'll have him picked up. That will be one less fleet captain for us to worry about. Any other fragments?
Please don't pick him up before I get a chance to talk to him. I'm going to feel really dumb about not talking to him yet, if you do. Hopefully he'll just be on the key until I next return to the UC Vigilance, at the very least. Because I definitely want to track him down and at least hear him being happy for like a moment of his life about getting back into the Crimson Fleet. Got this piece of information on a certain Galbank employee who was aboard the Siren of the Stars.
Are you kidding me? Dombrowski was already making a six-figure salary, and yet he couldn't resist starting an embezzlement scheme. It makes me sick. It's gonna be an absolute pleasure to throw his butt in prison. That it?
No. I think I just gotta level up from that. because it was playing the Starfield music. Here's everything I have on Shinya Voss.
So Voss engineered a way to directly interface with the Key's mainframe? I knew he was a math genius, but didn't realize he was so tech-savvy. Well, we'll share this information with Galbank. Hopefully it'll help them shore up the security on their cryptocurrency. Anything else?
According to this, you have a mole feeding supplies to Jasmine Durand.
Yeah, you're right. But there's no way this was a solo job. Shifting all those parts takes serious manpower. I'll send this to Mast so they can shake the tree a bit, see what falls out. Looks like Durand better start looking for parts somewhere else. Have any more?
There's so many. Right, so this one first. I've discovered some interesting information about Radley Jasso.
So, Mr. Yasso is actually Lionel Soto. We thought Soto was dead. At least, that's what the records told us. I'll have the records updated, but seeing as Mr. Yasso has surrounded himself with the Crimson Fleet, there isn't much we can do. Yet. That it?
I have some information about the murder of Madeline LaRue.
We were aware that Miss LaRue was involved with Fergus Wickham. When her body was recovered, SysDef assumed he was the culprit. Sounds like we had it wrong. Should have pinned the murder on this Clay Dietrich perp. Well, we'll have to clear that up. Nice find. Anything else?
That's all I have for now.
Okay, fine. I know there's more out there, so keep on it.
She acted like she was disappointed. I just gave her so much freaking information. Oh yeah. You really don't like talking about the past 2. Finally, so that was enough to finally get her to open up. Please tell me.
You're not gonna let this go, are you?
No.
Why do you care so much about my past?
Because you've clearly got a stick up your butt about the Crimson Fleet, and I want to know why. Hey, you're the one who implied you had something to tell me. Call it professional courtesy. I like to know who I'm working with. Since I'm entrusting SysDef with my life, I deserve to know who's got my back. These are all, these two are so manipulative. Why do you care so much that I'm asking?
Because the things you're asking are private, and we're supposed to be maintaining a professional rapport, not making friends.
I know, but what's wrong with making friends?
Look, I like to keep my attachments at a minimum, okay? In my line of work, if you make friends, you eventually end up losing them, either through reassignment or...
That's a really jaded point of view.
For other reasons.
I think I'm going to be manipulative because I really want her to open up. Hey, you're the one that implied you had something to tell me. Yeah, never mind. I'm going to go with this one.
You're right. I did. I suppose I'm hesitating because I'm not sure you'll like what I have to say. Would it shock you to learn that I spent some time in prison? I suppose that makes me a hypocrite.
Not really. Why does that make you a hypocrite?
Oh, come on. I haven't exactly been cordial about my feelings towards the Crimson Fleet's illegal activities.
Hey, you bit my head off when I implied Jasper Cricks might be clever. Quite the opposite explains quite a lot.
Oh, does it now? Was I giving off some kind of ex-con sort of vibe? Well, give me a chance to explain. I grew up in the Well in New Atlantis. Parents made barely enough money to keep the lights on in our apartment. After I dropped out of school, they begged for me to look for work. But I realized it was a lot easier to simply take whatever I wanted instead. A year after that, I'm a career criminal with UC security breathing down my neck, and my parents kicking me out of the house.
So you lived on the streets?
Hell no. I made enough money to buy my own apartment. Filled it with some decent stuff, too. I'd even send pictures of the place to my folks to rub it in. I was a real asshole. Well, I wasn't a nice person.
You did what you had to do.
That's just it, though. I was having the time of my life, earning way more than I needed to simply get by and loving every minute of it. Back then, if you would have told me one day I'd be wearing this uniform, I'd have said you were out of your mind.
And yet, look at you now. I bet UC Sysdef eventually recruited you for an undercover sting operation. No, I'm not going to say that. I want her to go on. And yet, look at you now.
Thanks. I'm quite proud of where I've ended up. Let's just say the years after my time in the well were filled with highs and lows. Look, the point is that I felt you deserved to know a bit about my past. To know where my anger towards the fleet comes from.
Still feel like I haven't gotten that answer. You're just going to leave it at that?
Yeah. I think I've told you more than enough.
You've told me pretty much
Besides, my job here is to keep an eye on you, not the other way around.
Uh-huh. Being a criminal in New Atlantis is a long way from running with the fleet. Like, she hates the fleet because they, like, remind her of her past? Because they're criminals? Like, what?
Longer than you can possibly imagine. Well, I think you've had enough for now.
I do not get the point.
Let's get back to it before Keyboy writes us a citation for loitering.
You feel like telling me how your time in the well relates to your past experiences with the Crimson Fleet?
Yeah. I figured it was only a matter of time before this came up. The reason I didn't bring up the Crimson Fleet is, well, I was one of them.
Oh.
It's something I'm not exactly proud of.
I'm just pausing mid-dialogue because, so I think what happened here is we get more and more of her backstory the more evidence we turn in. And I think because I turned in so much at once, like I think the way this was supposed to play out is we get that little tidbit about her growing up on the streets of New Atlantis and being a petty criminal, but nothing that explains her animosity towards the Crimson Fleet. And then when we turn in even more evidence after that, she opens up about having actually joined the Crimson Fleet from there. So we're going to get more of the story now. Okay, let's continue. Shit, did I miss dialogue? Because I guess she was done with that line. I guess she just said, like, I used to be a member of Crimson Fleet. Of course he does, right? Does Commander Ikande know about this?
He knows quite a bit about my journey. But I'd appreciate it if you didn't mention this conversation to him.
No, I'll keep this just between us. Is that why you're so good at monitoring the Crimson Fleet?
I know a great deal about how they operate, what frequencies they use, their encryption techniques, their methods. So, in short, yes.
And not exactly something you'd want to shout from the mountaintops.
Right. No one else but you would understand what I've gone through. It's been a long and difficult road. I was recruited out of New Atlantis by Neva Mora. She said I was making a name for myself, and it caught the fleet's attention. I was thrilled. It was a chance at bigger and better scores and gave me a ticket off-world. Why the heck would I say no?
Commander Ikande in the background eavesdropping on our conversation. Did you see that? Yeah, I was about to be mad if it wasn't going to tell me how she joined the Crimson Fleet, but so cool she got recruited by Neva. That explains why she knows so much about Neva. And I guess that person that we have in the brig right now is not the first person that Neva recruited and that later turned their back on the fleet. Why did Neva choose you?
I raised hell on New Atlantis until someone stood up and took notice. And just like Adler Kemp stuck his neck out and vouched for you, someone else in the fleet did the same thing for me. In fact, It was my idea to send you to Sidonia for your first, well, I suppose you call it a mission.
Oh. Let me guess, Neva dangled credits in your face.
Of course she did. How else would you get an aspiring criminal to blindly follow you into a life of interstellar crime? They took me in. Delgado ran me through the paces on Suvorov, and before I knew it, I was part of the team. Now I was making some serious money. That apartment I boasted about in New Atlantis became a joke. I even made enough to buy my own ship.
Yeah, I remain really curious what he did with the new recruits on Suvorov before he actually had access to the lock. Just had them poke around the, like, rundown buildings down there or some shit. I don't know. I feel like that's a bit of a plot hole, but... oh, well, I need to stop, like, commentating before I read the dialogue options. What happened when Delgado brought you down to Suvorov?
What do you think? It's a giant ice ball. I froze my behind off. We spent a while exploring the surface near the lock, while Delgado laid out his spiel about honor among thieves and all that nonsense. Never got a look inside the facility like you did.
Right, because they didn't have the code yet. Okay. Not a lot of details, but, I mean, I guess he just, you know, took people down there to see where their history began, even if he couldn't get inside. Good place, and good harsh place for him to give a speech to the new recruits. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Oh, it dropped. Hard. Everything changed thanks to Commander Akande. The man basically saved my life. I owe him everything.
This is like a mean thing to say. Hearing that makes me feel better about placing my life in his hands.
If I've learned one thing about the Commander, it's that he cares deeply about everyone under his command. Look, I've already said too much. I promised Commander Akande I wouldn't talk to anyone.
Yeah, see, we're still missing
this.
A piece of the story,
All
which...
you need to take away is that I've literally walked a mile in your shoes, and I appreciate the risks that you're taking. Carry through with this mission. I promise you I'll be there every step of the way.
And that's all we get. So we're still missing a piece of the story, which is why she went from having a grand old time running with the Crimson Fleet to Commander Akande saving her life in some way. Like, we're missing that piece where, like, what made her despise the Crimson Fleet like she does. We still don't know the answer to that, which is the big question, but we've definitely got quite a few more details about that.
I'll be here if you have any more questions.
Oh, that was weird dial. Oh, because it's giving me the level up thing. That's why I muted it. Okay. Wow. I know she said, like, literally don't talk to Commander Akande about what I just talked to you about, but I am going to go try to do that. If I can find him.
Excuse me.
Oh, right. I also need to go find his computer in his office anyway to see if it's got any updated profiles on people in the fleet.
This mission is going to require discretion on a number of fronts.
I wish I could remember where his office was. I remember I really struggled to find it the first time. It's like, it's off of this room somewhere. That's all I can remember about it. It's like, I thought it was opposite this conference room, is it not?
Vigilance, our flagship. Where it goes,
yeah, this is it. Oh yeah, we got more in that last one. Oh right, that's his little diary entry. Right, so we've gotten Adler Kemp before, nothing new there. Neva we've gotten before, nothing new there. And Delgado we had before, nothing new there. We've got now Mathis now, Rokov, and Juan Dayu, which I'm not sure even who that is. Maybe reading it will remind me. Mathis, my new buddy. Angry, violent, aggressive loner. Yeah, facts all. Mathis Castillo is a new member of the fleet, but has a long record as a smuggler for the Trade Authority, working primarily in Freestar space. It will be interesting to track the relationship between him and our agent, given they joined the fleet at the same time. Rokov, age 50, experienced, steadfast, and greedy. A former smuggler for the Crimson Fleet, UC Sistef was able to broker a deal with Rokov after his capture. In exchange for a reduced sentence, he provided Sistef with valuable information about the fleet's operations. Oh, he was a rat. He was a dirty rat. Maybe that's why they kicked him out. However, after serving his sentence, Rokov is no longer considered a viable asset. Intelligence tells us he seeks to return to the fleet, and his actions are aligned with their interests. True. Who the hell is this? Juan Dayu, quiet, reserved, and cunning. One of the younger captains of the fleet, Juan has developed a reputation for being prompt and professional. Despite building a successful cargo business in the heart of New Atlantis, intelligence reports tell us she's involved in a number of smuggling operations to various stations across the settled systems. Measured and meticulous, Captain Dayu's personality stands in contrast to her more boisterous cohorts. I still don't know why I have that piece of information, but interesting nonetheless. So that was a lot in this episode. We accomplished quite a bit, but the episodes run long, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video here aboard the UC Vigilance. Thank you everyone for watching. This was lots of fun. As always, I hope you all have a fantastic day.